Okay. We're running out of time. We'll start the questions. Go right ahead.
Thanks, Mr. Moderator. My name is Patrick Boylan, and I'm an Irish Catholic Jew, if there ever is such a thing, who was born in a Muslim country, and I've listened to both Mr. D'Souza and Mr. Hitchens. I agree quite a bit with Mr. Hitchens. Mr. D'Souza, my question is to you. By the way, Moderator, am I allowed to go for the throat? Because that's my favorite move here. No? Okay. Anyway, Mr. D'Souza, I know you were born in India, and you're going and everything else, and you've lived in a Hindu country. It surprises me that you don't know that the Muslims killed over 70 million Hindus in India when Muhammad bin Qasim came, in the 7th century, 7010 actually it was, 710 actually. They killed over 70 million Hindus. It surprises me when you talk about Judeo-Christianity and you talk about the Inquisitions and you don't mention a single thing about the razzias that the Islamic people took out against the Christians and Jews and murdered them left, right, and center. You don't talk about that. They did it not in the name of Islam, but because it is taught to them to do it in Islam. And I know you're going to say, well, you take it out of context, it's cherry picking, it's blah, blah, blah. The biggest threat we have right now, and I'll come back to terrorism, which is my forte, the biggest threat we have right now is religion, sir. And it is the Islamic religion. Osama bin Laden has said he has permission to kill from 5 to 10 million people. Okay. He has got the fatwa.
Okay.
One sec, let me just finish this. In the Quran, 47:4, when you meet the unbelievers, strike at their necks, take captives, and bind them firmly.
We don't have time. We don't have time to go on. Dinesh, do you want to take a quick stab at that?
Yeah, the question is, why do you think that religion is not the cause of all these problems? Especially as far as Islam is concerned.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
How many people were killed by the Roman Empire?
What's that got to do with Muslims killing all the Hindus in India?
I thought you would be confused because
no, I'm not confused.
We have had a number of empires through history. Most of them have left an ocean of blood and a mountain of bodies. I'm sure when Genghis Khan stormed across the plains of Asia, he wasn't handing out bowls of Mongolian beef. And yet, as far as I know, he didn't do it in the name of religion, did he? So the question we have to ask is not, did the Muslims do this, but in what way were the Islamic empires radically different from other empires of other religions or even secular empires that have littered our sad world? I don't see any fundamental difference of behavior. In fact, in some respects, Islamic empires were more tolerant than other empires.
That's a lie, sir.
Excuse me?
That is a lie, and you know it.
Sir, okay, no, we can't get into that. All right, let's go on to the next question.
Well, can I?
Yeah, okay. All right, go ahead, Christopher.
Maybe the question wasn't really right. First, Dinesh is quite right in saying that many Muslim empires have been, especially the late Ottoman and to some extent the Abbasid caliphates, were models of tolerance compared to many Christian and non-religious empires. So you should withdraw your progress suggestion that he was being untruthful there. I don't personally think the body count is the thing that decides this. I wish, for example, that the Roman Empire had succeeded in putting down the Jewish rebellion in Palestine. I think we'd all be very much better off if the Jewish zealots had been obliterated and their horrible monotheism and its intolerance prevented from mutating into Christianity. I think the only chance for civilization in Palestine at that time was a continuation of what Alexander the Great, who by the way is a figure in history, had brought to the area, a kind of Hellenism which was actually extremely attractive to many Jews and remains the model for secular and reform Judaism. That's what I happen to think. I don't think all imperialisms are totalitarian. What I think I hope I've tried to carry this point, I'll just seize this chance to underline it again. Never mind the body count, think of the principle. The principle of monotheistic religion is totalitarian to begin with. It says that you must submit to an authority that cannot be challenged, that owns you body and soul, that can watch you while you sleep and after you're dead, that can convict you of thought crime for what you may do in your dreams. that abolishes the whole concept of human individuality, responsibility, and autonomy, and forces you to love a dictator who you also fear. That is what is wicked. And it would be perfectly all right to kill in the name of resisting that. So the body count that it naturally inflicts by imposing itself is a second-order consideration.
Well, let's just look at Christianity for just a moment, because the central principle of Christianity, and Judaism too, if you go back to the first book of Genesis, is that God made man free to choose. Very often when I debate this issue, people say, well, why would a just God allow the Holocaust? How come all these evils exist in the world? And the short answer is because God made man free, including free to reject him. So, far from there being a totalitarian principle, which, by the way, if God exists, he could have imposed. Christianity is based on the idea that you have the freedom even to say no to God. And a lot of moral evil in the world can be explained in that way, that God could intervene and usurp that freedom, in which case there would be perhaps an obliteration of all human-inflicted evil, but then we would be robots. So the very fact that here we are free individuals walking about, free to accept the church or not, free to believe or not, these things came out of Christianity. So it's not right to say, to take secular despotisms of the 20th century, which arose out of a rebellion against religion, and anachronistically superimpose them backward through history, as if they were the creation of religion itself. This is the huge historical sleight of hand to which I'm afraid we are being subjected.
You see how totalitarianism, you see how the habits of totalitarian thought will rot a brain even as fine as that of my friend, you know. He says to you, be grateful to Big Brother. Be grateful to Big Brother. He's allowed you the right to dissent. Who in this room does not feel insulted by something as fatuous as that? And by the way, whatever, and contemptible as that, by the way, whatever the definition of free will may be, and I say we have it because we have no choice but to have it. It is not something you can be given. If you tell me it's free will and you've been given it, you abolish the category in which you are dealing. Surely that must be plain. And no, you do not have the right to say that there is no God, and that his prophet and his son are not valid, and that their teachings are not to be listened to. You only have that right if you're willing to risk your immortal soul and an infinity of torment. And to say that this is a kindness is to be an abject person, sprawling at the feet of a man-made idol. Don't do it. Get up on your feet, raise yourself to your full height, throw off this shackle. It's a mind-forged manacle.
Okay.
If the laws of physics are completely deterministic, in other words, if we live in a universe that's purely physical and driven by physical laws, it's very difficult to see where free will comes from. If we are evolved primates and in a certain profound way indistinguishable or on a natural continuum from other creatures that are the product of instinct and natural forces, not having the will to say, this is not right, or I shouldn't have done that. You can never say of a stone, you shouldn't have rolled down the hill. You can never say to a cheetah, you shouldn't have run after that rabbit. So we human beings, there's a certain little bit of an ontological leap here. We're assuming within ourselves a capacity possessed by no other object in the universe. What is the source of this? That's worth at least a moment's reflection.
Okay, next question, please.
Actually, it was Milton Friedman, not God, who made us free to choose.